Hi, and welcome back to Code Weaver Plays Games. Just testing out to make sure the audio level's okay, and it appears so. So here we go. Yeah, I'm going to quickly do an Outer Wilds thing, and if you haven't played Outer Wilds, here's your spoiler warning. I put it in the title. And I'm telling you right now, go play the game. Even without knowing anything about it, you shouldn't look up anything about it because it's a fantastic story-based game with some space flight and planets and lots of lore, and it's absolutely it's beautiful and a delightful game. And yeah, it's one of those things where knowing anything about it reduces the awe factor, I think. So there we go. We've said the thing. Gonna do a stunt. Yes. This is what we're going to do. This is what we came here to do. And you can see if I switch over to my gaming scene, there we go. You can see that I'm already in a place which is kind of spoilery. And yeah. So what's unusual about this? I mean, look around. There's really nothing all that, unusual about this. The thing is, though, this should be a little bit odd. And if you know anything about this game, and especially anything about this DLC, this should look awfully peculiar. I guarantee you no plugins have been added to get this effect. I do have a FreeCam plugin, which I'm going to show you in a second, because I'm going to get an outside view. Because as that shadow shows, I don't have my spacesuit on. Isn't that fantastic? Honestly, no plugins were used to achieve this. And I'll show you how I did it in just a second. However, word of note here, the fact that my Scout launcher is attached to me is just an artifact, I guess, of the fact that when you are without your spacesuit, the model still has this, and it's just invisible from your own personal perspective. You can clearly not see it here, right? Now, yeah, bad things are about to happen. So I am just going to reset. I'm going to meditate into the next loop, and I'll show you how I did this. Now, I can't possibly be the first person who's actually done this, so I don't claim that this is unique in any sense to me. As far as I'm concerned, if I had the idea, a bunch of people probably did. I didn't think it was possible until I managed to be able to do it reliably, but I've done other stunts in Outer Wilds before. One of my stunts, for example, landing on the sun station manually. A lot of people do that. I figured out several different ways of getting into the Black Hole Forge, which was a lot of fun, and I had a bit of a stunt involving the Tower of Quantum Knowledge, and I have all those archived on my YouTube channel, where I go and archive these because Twitch doesn't preserve that sort of thing. So you can go look those up if you like. But here we go. There's nothing really unusual about the opening salvo, if you like, to this. Again, lots and lots of spoilers. I can't save you from the spoilers at this point, but I adore this game and its DLC so much. I think it's literally become my favorite game of all time. I don't like putting all games on a single line, but of the games that has given me the most joy, this is way the heck up there, even taking into account lots of different genres. And I do play lots of genres of games. Exploration stuff like this, and shooters, and strategy games, and whatever. I adore it. Anyway, so I'm not going to go in the traditional way. Again, spoiler territory. We're going to punt ourselves over to the rift in the surface of the space station. And yes, if you haven't guessed already, you can trivially get in here by parking your ship and getting out of your ship in your spacesuit and just, hopping through the gap using your thrusters. Clearly, my objective here, though, is to be able to get in there without my spacesuit. This takes a little finessing, so what I'm going to do, I've just landed on the spine, which is, I guess I'm being held here, either a combination of gravity technology or more than likely because the space station's spinning, so centripetal acceleration is constantly pushing me up. It's the same reason why you have rotating space stations. However, what I want to do is I want to actually get my belly to that opening, that rupture. And I tried to do this, by the way, using the standard docking area, and I just didn't have the time to be able to pull it off. This is the only way I figured out how to do this so far. So what we're going to do, switch over to landing cam. And it's a little tricky because I have to, to get my belly right up against this. And it doesn't want to stay here. This is not a standard docking procedure. Oh, come on. Come on. There we go. More or less. Nudge my way in here and try to get it stable and mostly upright. And if I'm really, really lucky, I can very carefully get up to my seat and my ship manages to tuck itself in there. Now, first things first, I want to make sure that I can make this leap. And in order to make this happen, because I'm going to be doing this without my spacesuit shortly, I am going to make sure that I can get over and then make a leap quickly and then get in. And that seems to be the case. I'm going to, seemed a little rough. I'm gonna give that one more shot just to make sure I can do this. Now I might fail when I do this for real, but here we go. So through, jump. Now you see I'm getting caught up on that. That's really rough. And I want to do this while I have my spacesuit on. So I'm going to just adjust this a little bit if I can. So, don't want to risk it. Oh, that is really hard to do because I keep getting pulled against the ground there. All right. Back out of... yeah, that's fine. It's going to be a little fiddly, but... Oh. Wow. Well then. That sucked. Alright, so we're going to have to go up there and fix this. Oh god. Come on. No, thank you. Thank you for nothing. Actually made my life hellishly more difficult here. So I'm less worried about that, but I really want my landing camera. Whoa! You know what? I set myself up on the top of that tower as part of the intro, and I had almost no trouble. Come on. Almost no trouble getting in there the first time. First time I go to demonstrate it to someone else, of course I fail. But bear with me, we are going to make this work. Ah, come on. 1%. I'm out by 1%. What? I think that did it. I think that did it. Let's do this. All right. Here we go. So, really gentle, fine touches here. Except for that's a bit of a trick because you start to get pulled into it. Okay. Come on. Oh, so fiddly. There's forces pulling you off a very simple approach. That's not much better than when I started. Come on. Come on. There we go. There we go. That's better. That's way better. There we go. See that? Now, if I can just get it to nestle. Doesn't want to. There. All right. This became... Be very careful when getting up from your seat trying this, by the way, because if you get up and then you move the mouse around, you may just dislodge yourself. All right. So this is taking a lot longer than I thought it would be. And honestly, the very first time I did this prior to this stream, it went way smoother. All right, so I leap in there. No, it didn't quite do that. Let's try that again. Let's try that again. All right, here we go. Let's try this. Standing here, in, jump, and then get to here. All right, we're going to give it a shot. So, we have to get all the way from the spacecraft through that open door fluidly, or we got to start this all over again because we're going to choke to death. It took me forever to get just the right alignment to do this, and it seems like a really simple thing to do now that I can do it, but boy, howdy did I ever have trouble sort of planning this out. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Go, go, go! Ha 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 ha! So there we have it. And we're just going to close that up and lock it up so I'm not even slightly tempted to go out there. And there you have it. I am here without my spacesuit, and there's actually real oxygen in here. Like, it's... Up until the point that I tried this, it was not clear to me whether or not this place actually had breathable air, because you're always in your spacesuit except for when you're at the fires. Briefly, potentially. And you could make all sorts of excuses, even if there were bad atmosphere in here, as to why that worked out. Why that might work out. But it turns out that legitimately, not only can you get in here without your spacesuit, it is breathable. Now, the problem with this is, I mean, you still have your flashlight, but you don't have your jetpack, and you can barely jump. So this is no better for maneuverability, if you will, than... and moving about the world, then when you're back on Timber Hearth before you get into your ship and get your spacesuit. And then you can rocket around to your heart's content even without your spaceship, largely. So what this means is there are places that I cannot legitimately get to. It's actually really, really tricky to get to absolutely everywhere. But because of these guys, because of these transport rafts, you can get almost anywhere. There's a few spots where having a rocket pack is kind of mandatory. And I haven't tried to explore absolutely everywhere. There's also a few places that I think are probably impossible, anywhere that you have to go underwater, because for whatever reason, the Hearthians can't swim, which I find kind of a shame. Which means probably I can't get into that underwater structure there. But anywhere I can dock is probably pretty good. It also means that I can't trivially rocket off this thing to get to shore. I actually have to park it in some sense. Elevators are all good. I can pick up artifacts. The funny thing is, the easiest place to get an artifact over there in that in the building over there that I'm pointing at right now on the shore. You kind of need a rocket pack to get into safely, and yeah. And that's even more scary than normal because, again, can't swim, which means that if this craft gets upset in any way, I'm done for. Oy. Speaking of which, I don't know if I've ever come down this channel, but here we go, trying the ridiculous. Now you can see all the places that I could potentially get to. Anywhere where you don't have to rocket pack up a cliff or using your pack, you can in principle get to. Just if I'm not convinced that you could do any significant portion of the game without your suit. There's a few spots where it is clearly advantageous. But a really crazy parkour expert might be able to prove me wrong. There's a few places you kind of have to let yourself down into where a rocket pack is super, super helpful. It's funny, actually, because if Hearthians could swim, this DLC might be completable without your suit. And just to illustrate the point, what I am going to do is I'm going to go over here because I can get down to the water without falling completely into it because there's a shore. if I come down here, I might be able to demonstrate this without dying, but probably not. So if I try to swim, I can swim. Oh, my stars. I stand corrected. You can swim, but not necessarily dive, because the minute that you... Oh, God, that's really rough. You don't have your jetpacks. You have to constantly be facing upward. Could that get you inside the bell? Maybe. I will practice seeing how many places I can and can't get to without a suit. That may be my next video. This wasn't meant to be a long one, so I just wanted to show you. In fact, use the free cam here, which does not align itself terribly well. Oh, I guess this is going to be a problem, isn't it? The dam just broke, and I'm in a place that's kind of bad to be when the dam's broken. Can I get upstairs fast enough? No. No, this is gonna be bad. It's gonna be seriously bad. Okay, we're staying. Yeah. How long can we last? Okay, this is a new game. How long can we last? When? Now we're gonna die right here. Yeah. Yeah, there it is. That's a problem with your suit on, anyway. But yeah. If I were on one of the boats, I'd be able to do it. Anyway, that is going to be the end of this stream. I think what I'm going to do is I've had kind of a day where I kind of need some relaxation. So clearly Fallout is in the mix. I think I'm going to go and do a little bit of Fallout immediately following this, Fallout 4. You can join me on that. It's not, that one's going to be not blind. I've played it several times before. I'm just playing for the story. So I will see you over there in moments. Yeah. So this has been Codeweaver Plays Games, and I'll be back in a moment.